is Ha. Ha. And 18 is Shamawana. So remember when we did numbers, we have the number then the power. So in this case we have 18 nations. So 18 is Sha, Ma, Wa, Na, which is 18. Right, which is 18. And then we have is the Shamawana 8. What is right? Shamawana I.S.U.P.K. You'll see it properly on Facebook and on YouTube. I.S.U.P.K. is 10. So this is 8. Is 10. 10 and 8, 18. I.S.U.P.K. and nations is Gawaya. Or nations, Gawayam. So this is the 18 nations in the ancient Hebrew. That's how it's said. And if we were to write it out, in the Hebrew, from left to right, this one. So we're going the Shamawa. So it's Sha. Shamawa na. Shamawa, the I.S.U.P.K. I.S.U.P.K. is Ha, Sha, Ma, Wa, Na. I.S.U.P.K. The 18, and this is, we have nations, is Ga, Wa. A here for Gawayam. So it's Gawayam. Ga. That's nations. There's Ga. We have Wa. Ya. Ma. That's the 18 nations in the ancient Hebrew. So I'll just give you all a minute just to check it out. Jot it down. H. Put in black. Sha. Ma. Wa. That's 8. So 10 and 8 is 18. The 18th, Gawayam. Gawayam is nations in the ancient Hebrew. And we have it written there in the ancient. The 18 nations. So we're going to get into Genesis chapter 10. So there we will get more or less like, the first kind of like breakdown of just after the flood. And then we're going to see all these nations starting to appear when the earth is being repopulated at that time by Noah's 3 sons, which is Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So all these nations came up from this lineage of these 3 men, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, that has repopulated the earth after the flood. So now you have some time to get that done. We're going to start a work on now is run through these list of nations. Israel was like the youngest of all those nations. That came out. Then go on our page, like, share, and subscribe, ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and then we'll be able to share all this information. the share and the like button. It's cool. So 18 nations. So we're going to start with the youngest, Israel. Good. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's put one. Listen. Yeah, no, that no problem. Yeah. I know about it. Yeah, to that. SHALAM fair. So we have, you said 18 nations. Let's get to them. So we have Israel. Out. What I should do first is label it. So we have the biblical names. And Syria. So they write down the name that's in the Bible, right? The name that they are described in the Bible. Right, so now, so that we put their biblical names, what they are called now, and then we write the ancient and the Assyrian therefore. So Israel. Israel, Edom, and Moab. So we do start with those three. history. As you know, Israel is actually what we call the 12 tribes now, who are so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So at that time, all the 12 tribes I did last week, which is Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Ephraim, Manasseh, Zebulun, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Naphtali, and I.S.U.K. Right? These are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. So now we so-called blacks and Hispanics. So the tribe of Judah are the so-called Negro, American Negroes. Benjamin is so-called West Indians. From Trinidad go right up the chain, right up to Grenada, minus Puerto Rico, Haiti, Santa Dominica, and Cuba. Right? Because the Cubans are the Manasseh, Puerto Ricans are Ephraim, Haiti, and Dominica. Haiti is so-called is the Levites. Dominica is so-called is Simeon. Right, the other, we have Zebulun from Guatemala to Panama, Manasseh, Gad, who are the native Indians. We have Asher, Colombia to Uruguay, Naphtali, Argentina to Chile, and I.S.U.K, the Mexicans. So those people make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. So we have 12 tribes, right, blacks and Hispanics. And the name in ancient Hebrew is Yashar'ala. Right, so those, well, I'll write it here inside. So we need blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So the Hebrew name is Yah. Allah. Yashar'ala. So we have that. So we have Israel, Yashar'ala. And in the ancient Hebrew, so you just write in the ancient and the Assyrian. Right, so that's Israel, Yashar'ala. So you have the ancient Hebrew on top, we have the Assyrian in the bottom. This is Israel, Yashar'ala, Israel. As you know, Israel is one of the last nations that came on the face of the earth. As we go through Genesis 10, we'll be able to see the nations that came off out of Shem, Ham, and Japheth in that early time span period. So we're going to go through. So Israel, right? And then we know Edom is a so-called white man. Esau come from the so-called from the brother Esau and Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to what? Israel. So now we have Israel, then we have Edom. And Edom is what? Adam. The ancient Edom. So you see, you guys in the scriptures. Right, so this is Genesis 25, and this is from verse 7, verse 22. And the children, this is Rebecca, right, giving the account of Isaac and Rebecca. This is when Rebecca was giving birth to twins. So those twins were Esau, Salakia. Yeah. Start from verse Esau and Jacob. And second. So we have the story here with Rebecca, where we will start to see these two nations, Israel and Edom. In the biblical term, you will have Jacob, his name was Jacob before it turned to Israel, and Esau, his name through the generations ended up being Edom, right? He was known as Edom. So you're going to see that story here now in Genesis chapter 25 and verse 22, which reads, "And the children struggled within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated by thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger." Now in this case, so I could put it in red that you would understand. These are the 2 nations biblically. So these were the names. Right, she said the elder shall serve the younger, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name I.S.U.K. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So we see here now where these 2 nations here, Esau and Jacob. Now Esau was well established before Israel became the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Right, so we have Esau, we have Jacob, who are Israel, Jacob, Yashra'ala, and Esau, which is Edom, are the one. So those are those 2 nations. So now, we're going to go into some other nations here now. This slant here. So we have this other nation here, which is Moab. Now Moab is the so-called Chinese. Now what I forgot to mention for Edom, Edom is the so-called white man. It's correct. So-called white man, that is Esau. So we have the Chinese, who are the so-called Moabites in the Bible, and their name in the ancient Hebrew is Ma, Wa, Abba. Ma, Wa, Abba. In the ancient Ma, Wa, A, Ba. It's ancient sexual lines. It's easy to differentiate between the 2. This is the ancient, I'm going to write the Assyrian here. Ma, Wa, and this is the Ba. Ma, Wa, Ba. Just kind of close up. I think I just shifted a bit, just for clarity. Siwa, Siwa. Siba. Ma, Wa, Ba. Ancient Assyrian. So I'm going to give you all a minute, take that down, so that we can be able to see these nations, who they are now. So if we look at Moab, let's look for Moab in the scriptures here now. So let's see Moab. So we have something here. So Moab is my get this scripture where it describes the condition that Moab is in. I think it was here, all right. So once I get this, we are able to get these first three nations: Israel, Edom, and Moab. Right, so we see it. So give you one more minute, take that down, then we'll move on to the other three. So this is Isaiah chapter 16. which says 16 and 6. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is proud, even of his haughtiness, and his pride, his wrath, but his lies shall be so. As we know, the Chinese are a very proud people. Extremely, extremely proud. They were one of the few nations that haven't really been so-called conquered by the so-called white man. The white man has conquered all nations. But for a very, very long time, the Chinese have been sitting pretty nice and had a long, long history undisturbed among the nations. Verse 7 says, therefore shall Moab howl for Moab. Everyone shall howl for the foundations. Kirasheth shall mourn surely. So you see, this is a judgment that was being read to Moab by the Most High through Isaiah. For all that they have done to Israel. So, we're going to go on to the other nations. So we had Israel, Edom, and Moab. So we're going to go on to the others. Get that line in. Who are? We had Moab a while ago. We have his brother now, Ammon. Different color. And Moab and Ammon. Ishmael and Elam. Another three nations here. So Ammon is the so-called Japanese. Ishmael is the so-called Arabs. Elam is so-called East India. Not the native Indians, East Indian. So Ammon are these nations here. So what I think I should have done, put it here for the space. So these are the Japs, Arabs, East India. here I'm going to write in Hebrew names. I was pronouncing the Hebrew. So, we have Moab, William, and we have Ammon. And Ammon is pronounced I-Moab. I-Moab, we write it in the ancient. That's it in the ancient Hebrew. So this is it. This is Yah, Shah, Mai, Allah. Last one here, Elam is the East Indians. East Indians are pronounced is I-Yalam. So that's it. So this is the next tree. So this is here we're going to see now some more of the nations here in the scriptures as they start to come in to the picture. Now for Moab and Ammon, those were two brothers, which is the Chinese and the Japanese, and we more or less going to see their origin so that's it. With the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, when Lot had two daughters, when Lot ran out of the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, it was their destruction. So much so that when his daughters saw what was going on, when they fled, they didn't know what was going on. So we're going to read it here now. Now this is Genesis chapter 19. Except from 29. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the city of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt. And Lot went out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his two daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in the cave, he and his two daughters. So we're going to see the beginning of where Moab and Ammon came. Verse 31 says, and the first said unto the younger, our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. So this was the act, or incestuous act, that these two daughters of Lot did, because they thought that they were the only people on the earth after seeing the destruction that took place with Sodom and Gomorrah. Right, so what they did, and they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with him, lay with her father, and he perceived not. She lay with down, nor when she arose. So again, good drunk. One night, first sister going, then again drunk the second night, and the other sister did the same. Now verse 37 says, and the firstborn son, the first bare a son, and called his name Moab, and the name is the father of the Moabites unto this day. So we know the Moabites as the Chinese, right? And verse 38 says, and the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. So those are the Ammonites. So as you know, the Chinese and the Japanese, you also call them, Mongoloid. And if you look at the term Mongoloid, you get to understand who they are. It gives us like a perfect description. And you see they had, the small eyes, slanty eyes. So So we'll see where that comes from. So we look at the term Mongoloid. Relating to a broad division of humankind, including the indigenous people of East Asia, more specific Southeast Asia. So you get a scene. So they say, why another word or name for Mongoloid or Mongoloidism is Down syndrome. So look at the effects of what is Mongoloidism, also known as Down syndrome. Because the characteristic epicanthic I-fold of Down syndrome superficially resembles that seen in some Asian populations. Down syndrome was for many years called Mongoloidism. So you see what's going on here. So they are Down syndrome. As you can see, because of that interaction with Lot and his two daughters, but it is also a well-known documented fact that with incestuous relationships, the produce or the offspring is in most cases come out Down syndrome. So that's Moab and Ammon. Now we go to the so-called Arabs, who is Ishmael. That is his name, or the forefather of the so-called Arabs. And we're going to see him now also in the scriptures. As you know, Ishmael was first son of Abraham, but he was not the son of promise, which was Isaac. So we'll see the story here as with Sarah and Abraham. So the story in Genesis 16 was when the angel came to Abraham and told him, here what? You will have a child, right? And that child will be the child of promise. But Sarah could not bear no child. She was barren. And because of that, she basically took things into her own hand and said, here's what? I'm going to give you my handmaid, Hagar, or Haggai, as a wife to produce a child that we should claim as her child. So we pick up the story from here, from Genesis 16. Start from 1. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abram, behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. And Sarai, Abraham's wife, took Hagar her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her husband to Abram to be his wife. Now we see in verse 4, and he went in unto her, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. So she basically get jealous because she got pregnant, which she wanted to do in the first place. But you can see where the jealousy came up because she could not bear children of her own. So now we jump down to verse 8. So we're going to verse 8 says, and he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, went, this is when she ran off into the wilderness. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence camest thou, and whither wilt thou go? She said, I flee the face of my mistress, Sarai. So she ran out because she could not face her mistress. And verse 11 says, and the angel of the Lord said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord had heard thy affliction. And verse 12 says, and he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. So we could see this is like the perfect description. This is why there's no other book better than this Bible. This Bible gives a perfect description of every nation on the planet and everything that you would need to understand who these nations are is right here in this book. So you see where the so-called Arabs were and are a wild people. And every man is against him, and he's against every man. With the whole terrorism aspect came up of the so-called Arabs. Right? The whole ideology of terrorism, sprang up from since in the Gulf War times. And then we came up with the whole 9/11. And from ever since, he has always been at war with somebody or war among themselves. Then we have the so-called Muslims, Muhammad, to be more specific, as well. Islam really starts to spread. But the Arabs fit perfect the description that was given in the Bible, and their forefather is Ishmael. Now we move on to the other one, which is Elam, or the East Indians. So they are the so-called East Indians today. Which are part of Asia. So we see with Elam is in Genesis 10:22. So Genesis 10:22 says, the children of Shem, right, were Elam, Asher, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. As you know, our lineage, our descendant came from Aram. So we see here where the lineage of Shem started. also from Genesis 14, you will see where the rise of Elam started to move forward. Genesis 14 says, and 1, and it came to pass in the days of Araphel, king of Shinar, Arak, king of Elisha, the Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations. Right, so they started to have, their nation began to grow. And that is when they started to have wars among each other. Right? Verse 2 says that these made war with Barak, king of Sodom, and with Bershah, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Adam, and Shemabah, king of Zebolim. And so this is basically telling you the nation of Elam began to grow big, started to fight wars, and they also had a hand in the oppression of the nation of Israel throughout time and throughout history, even to today. But we see the so-called East Indians come and oppress us. They scheme, they control all the businesses, and they basically monopolize most of the stuff, especially here in Trinidad. So you're seeing where, biblically, where all these nations fit. So we're going to change out these, we're going to go out with some more. Nice, so we have now we have Japheth, Rain. Again, we're going to go up on our page, like, share, and subscribe. So we have these other three nations here, which is Japhet, in Hebrews, I.S.U.P.K, right? These are the so-called Polynesians or the Hawaiians, those indigenous peoples of Australia, Aborigines. Those are the so-called Japhetic nations. Then we have Ham, the so-called Africans. And we're going to also see also in who they are. And it's pronounced Kam. Ham. That's how it's pronounced in the ancient Hebrew, or Ham. Then we have Mizraim, or Matazarayim in the ancient Hebrew. So you're going to see them here now again in Genesis 10. So we hear Genesis 10 and from verse 2. The sons of Japhet, right, are Gomer and Magog and Madai and Javan and Tubal and Meshach and Tiras. So we see here where Japheth produced some sons, and we're going to see some of these other sons' names popping up. Gomer, Magog, and we're going to see we had Javan, so we're going to see some of these other nations popping up. Now, we have Japheth or Yapat. And you have Yapat, you have the ancient, and you have the Assyrian written down. Then we're going to see now so-called Africans, which is Ham or Cam, which means hot in the ancient Hebrew. Cam. And we're going to see here now, you have Ham and Mizraim. That is how it's there, see it in the Bible. And Matazariam in the ancient Hebrew. That's how you pronounce it in the ancient Hebrew. So we're going to read in Genesis here as well who these nations are. This is Genesis 10 and 6. And the sons of Ham, remember Ham is one of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Genesis 10 and 6, and the sons of Ham is Cush, Mizraim, right? Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. And these are so-called African nations. And then they break up to others. 6 says, and the sons of Cush was Sheba, Havilah, Sabat, Ramah, and the list goes on. Cush produced a famous son who was Nimrod. You know, through that son Nimrod, a lot of the paganism that is embedded in the world stem from that rulership in Nimrod, or of Nimrod. But Mizraim is the so-called Egyptians. They are the so-called Egyptians today. So let's get that. They are the so-called Egyptians. So you can take down this information. This is very good information to have. Have it here. I'm going to move on to the other 3 nations. Seeing generation. So we're going to go on to the other 3 nations now, just to get a backdrop. Of who these 18 nations are. Canaan or Kanai in the ancient Hebrew. Then we have Cush, which is Qadash, Wash, Wash. is for what? For what? Qadash. Kawasha. And then we have foot. So these are the 18 nations. So you're more or less like almost, well, basically halfway through. So you get an idea who these nations are. So once again, like, share, and subscribe. Get all this information out. So we have them here, South Africans, the Canaan or Canaanite, Canaan. We have the Egyptian, which is Cush, Kawash, and North Africans. I'm gonna have it there tonight. And we're going to continue this in the next class. When you read the security announcements, we are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, New York, under commanding General Yohanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find it in Numbers 18 and 21, and Malachi chapter 3 from verse 8 to 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, and pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we have the Feast of Dedication or Hakanaka, which is the 25th day of the 9th month, by the space of 8 days, which is Wednesday the 9th of December 2020, for 8 days. You can find us in 1 Maccabees chapter 4 from verse 52 to 61. I remind Akim and Akwathian to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirt, black pants,